ladies and gentlemen, to Season 11. We're here with Round 1. It's a brand new day for the Sim Racing Alliance. It's going to be a little bit more punishing out here during qualifying.
It's definitely a hard one here. It's what it's like. It's very, very punishing.
For all the way in Germany, this will be the first time we see this in the team series here. This is a track where you will be driving the track, not as much driving the drivers on the track.
Very brave is the Ferrari to get the move done.
He does get the position done.
Oh, huge contact, and they're both going to go around. It's going to be a huge move up the inside.
He's been using every bit of the track.
Pedal to the metal, foot to the floor.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Hey folks, welcome to SRA Season 12 Division 2 Round 2 at Laguna Seca this week. I'm joined by Sam in the booth, and Bosley is ghostly there. He's actually not here with us. It's just the two of us tonight. We'll be hosting your stream of this hopefully lovely race around Laguna Seca in California. Without further ado, we're going to move to the track map, and I'm going to let Sam walk you guys through it because he has much better technical knowledge than I do.
Yeah, nice start with that. Hopefully it's a nice race, just jinxing them right out of the box.
My job.
But yeah, hey, we're a pretty much North American-based group here, so I think Laguna is pretty well known, and it's pretty well known, overall. But this is a small, tight track compared to most of them, sub 1 minute 25 second for even like the slowest drivers. We're probably looking at more like 122 for D2. So these are fast laps, and there's going to be a lot of them. So where do you look to overtake? We're talking down into turn 2, which is weirdly turn 2 because the kink counts. But let's just say at the end of the main straight, going into that sort of double apex hairpin, that seems to be where almost all of the real overtakes were done if you're having an actual battle. Then the things to look out for are obviously going up the hill at turn 6. You're trying to cut across really hard at the last second, so going way off there can be cause for concern. Of course, you're coming up to the corkscrew right after, which if you get your footing just a little bit wrong will cause you to corkscrew out into the desert somewhere. So maybe not too many other places for good overtakes, but I will say that if you can set yourself up out of any of the slower turns, so let's talk about turn 3, turn 5, and I will go with turn 11, which again goes down the main straight. But I think those are the 3 places you could set yourself up for a run in the next 2 turns. Otherwise, you just kind of have to sit behind, keep it safe, and wait for someone else to make a mistake.
And mistakes get made here, let me tell you. We all know. This is a very unforgiving track if you happen to touch the wrong spot, and there's a lot of wrong spots. You can kind of see it in the picture. Sand everywhere. Just takes a little step out with a tire, and you can find yourself into a wall very easily here. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to see people. Let's say this is a super safe race, but yesterday we saw people, off to each side as you're going around, and you really just try not to get distracted by it too much, but also you have to be safe and secure. But I think something to remember for if you are driving today, if you drove yesterday, there are 42 laps, I believe we had yesterday. That's a lot of laps. If you need to lose a 10th here or there, you can probably pick it up somewhere else. So I think safety is really the key for at least before everyone gets a little bit spread out and there's some clean air between people, and then go for it.
Absolutely. And now it's the second week, so we have standings for the season championship. And in first place, we currently have Ian Wheeler for gold, followed by Victor Diaz very closely, 11-point difference. Brian Anderson, Andrew Reif, we're gonna skip Logan because he's for silver. Josh Damiani, Roy Key, Matt Anastasi, Evan Kim, and Simon Goriel. Those are your gold drivers in your standings. Your silver drivers, we have Logan in first, Thomas Olhausen, Donovan Colton, Lance Shark, Johnny Anastasi. Oh, we have 2 Anastasis. That's right. Martin Smith, Selena, Matt, Jess Osborne, and Michael Schwartz are our current leaderboards, but you know, it's only for week 1. It may change a lot over the time, and it's the rest of our field in our team standings. It's a fun one. In number 1, we have Champion Motorsports. Moose on the something, it got cut off. I'm really sorry, and I should have checked it out. But it's Brian Anderson and Josh Damiani sporting the Ford Mustang. In second place, we currently have the Wave Rippers for OBDA with Andrew Reif, who's in striking distance for the gold for the season, and Donovan Colton. 3, we have Champion Motorsports Race Condition with Cody Platt and Ian Wheeler. 4, we have GRR's Warbirds with Matt Anastasi and Johnny Anastasi. Oh, they're in a team together. Now are they father and son?
I think they're brothers, but
Brothers.
I could be wrong.
Okay, well, they're related. So I will find out for next week for sure how that relation works.
What if they're not related? That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. I was bringing up the Twitch stream quick just in case anybody tells me if they're related or not.
I just did that too.
Number 5, we have the Astronaut driving the AMR. So with Philip Mueller and Thomas Olhausen. I have a special route for that because I'm in the Aston this season myself. So, and those are all. I mean, and down number 6, the Hooligan with Victor Diaz, all by his little lonesome there. In 6. So I wonder how that works. Does he get like bonus points for being solo?
No, you just sort of have a slight disadvantage, but it's honestly...
It's a big disadvantage, if you ask me, but I guess
yeah,
there's a lot
I mean,
of
it
pressure.
kind of depends on who, sticks around and also how well that one, guy does. Because if your teammate is constantly way behind you, it's not that big of a difference. Also, the lead team is Moose on the Loose.
Moose on the Loose. Okay, thank you for double checking that. I didn't want to take a stab at it and be wrong, but yeah, that.
But yeah,
thanks.
Canadian and a Swede makes sense.
Oh, is that what we've got there? Okay.
Sure looks like it.
Let's see. Bring up that, and I think our silver drivers are heading out on the track. So let's go check it out. Currently, well, trying to watch Selena Boonstra and good picture there. Okay,
so of course there are a number of people that won't be out on the track tonight, and I'm sure there's a number of people that weren't on it last week. So there are some things that we may or may not be talking about as far as, oh, this person might be able to be aiming for, third place overall in the championship by the end of this thing. It's going to be up in the air. It's just race 2. So, I mean, specifically, we know Andrew Reif because he's in the broadcasters chat telling me that he won't be in this race. So that's a bit too bad. He was doing well, had a great race last week. I think there were a couple other people that were having maybe internet problems or not being able to get home for work, and then again there might be some new people, so we'll take a look and we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how different drivers perform at this track versus Paul Ricard. They're very opposite tracks, I would say, as we I think are getting underway for the first real hot laps of the silver drivers.
Oh, absolutely.
So something to look out for here for these silver drivers as they start their hot laps is the gap that they are keeping between each other. We, heard as a suggestion yesterday in the drivers briefing that nothing should be over 5 seconds because of how many drivers you have on track at one time. If you close that down, if you're way too fast or too slow to the people around you, you are not allowed to pass in qualifying, so that can cause a big issue. So, just make sure that they're all sort of filing out at the same pace and no one's really taking some huge gap. I mean, you can already see right ahead of here, Selena, there's two cars that are nose to tail just going down at the corkscrew here. Hopefully they'll get out of the way.
Oh, absolutely. So it'll be, let's see. So we have, so Rife is not coming today, didn't make it. So this will be his drop race. Everybody does get a drop race for the points for the season. So some of us are taking this race as a drop race because it did not go well, or sometimes people have to miss it, so that gives you some leeway there. And our first laps are coming in. Selena Boonstra currently P1 at a 123.237. But
Yeah, and here's an idea where we're sort of expecting these drivers tonight. The leaderboards for the hot lap for this track, so assuming people practiced enough or not at all, but who knows. But we do have very high 121, so like a 121.9, 121.92, etc. All the way down until let's see, the very bottom, the 40 drivers that put in times for D2, the highest is a 23.8, but almost all of them are in the 22. So I think that's what we're really expecting is a whole bunch of 122s, everybody within a second or so of each other during qualifying, which, I mean, it sort of doesn't show you too much. It just means that everybody is roughly in the same point once they start being able to hot lap. But when you're in a crowd, at the beginning of the race, then all that sort of goes out the window. So really, you're trying to eke out thousands at this point just to get a little bit closer to the front.
yeah, absolutely. You're looking now. Selena just took P1 with a 122.7. Yeah, the spread on the times right now is really big with the silver division, but a lot of those are just getting the tires warmed up and stuff. So we'll continue to see these times drop as they go running around the track. Selena herself currently, a little bit over a tenth up, looking to make an improvement, hold on to that P1 at least for the silver division, or maybe even for the whole race.
Yeah, she is roughly 4/10 off, at least from her last lap, from her hot lap for the week. So, still room for improvement. Certainly, it's a little bit tougher, when you've got your nerves up, when you're trying to get your tire pressures correct with only 1 or 2 laps of the outlap before you get going. So, things can be a lot different, but also sometimes people just end up going that extra tenth or so out and qualifying for the race where they're, kind of nerves are getting them a little bit more concentration, or things have just worked out from their practice. Looks like we got yellow way down by turn 2, yellow and white. I wonder if they were just getting offline or if someone had an issue, but we have yellow heading up into the corkscrew as well. That's just when people are really at the edge of the grip, at the edge of the limits. You have to do that to get a fast qualifying lap.
Well, it's
So
fast.
yeah, you're gonna spin.
Logan's coming in at 7/10 up from his time, so he's going to take that position from Selena for now. The 122.1. We've been watching him.
7/10. That's a nice improvement.
Yeah, that's a nice fat improvement. I'm sure he should be happy with that anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's already pretty close to the best times for the week of the whole division. So we're not expecting too much different. He's doing pretty well there. Oh, Colton going off a little bit. I don't know if that'll invalidate his lap, but it certainly won't help it.
No, and that's an unpleasant place to do it. Really slows down that run up that short straight. short-ish straight. Longest, probably what? One of the longer straights. Not
Yeah, I
including
mean,
the
one of
start
the
finish.
issues with having a track that is, short but then also curvy rather than having like a straight and then a turn and a straight and the turn is that when you go off a little bit like that and just get a little bit of like dirt on your tires, you got to hit the brakes soon. You got to turn hard soon, no matter what. You don't have time to really wipe them off. So yeah, those short little straights are just not enough to really recover from even a tiny bit of an off like that. You have to be careful.
Yeah, I just had an image of people stopping with their cars, like, hold on a minute, let me wet my tires, start over.
Just do a perfect, like a purposeful spin right across the finish line to, really get everything off the tires.
Yeah, that and then some. Mac, Matt, Matt or Max Dig?
Looks like Max, and doesn't look he looks like he improved on that one.
Oh,
We have 2 minutes left of silver qualifying. So if you're new here, the way that we spread out the classes in the division is that the first 10 minutes. So if you're watching the time countdown from the 20th minute down to the 10th minute, the silver drivers are out, and they have to be across the start-finish line before the 10th minute counts down, and then the gold drivers can head out. So we've got about, let's say, 2 laps left for everybody, assuming they get around and get past the start finish. Again, assuming they have fuel, assuming they don't crash, assuming lots of things. But there are lots of yellow dots popping up all over the place on that track map right now.
yeah, they're getting less than a minute and a half left of the silver qualifying, so probably a few people trying to make that extra push, see what they can get away with.
Yeah, and really, if you're not on a good flyer right now and you're the last minute or so, I say, go into the pits, take one more practice to get into the pits. That can save you tenths, save you even more than tenths, save you a stop-go penalty. If you have at least a little bit of practice, definitely worth it.
Yeah, and the pit lane here is quite short, so it definitely when you want to practice going into first, so you and have some sort of an idea of just how much you have to slow that car down as you come in and not get that stop go because that really will hurt your race. So
Yeah,
Panzer
and you
coming
gotta
in
love
up to
this.
P9. Sorry.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, you look over at the timing board, and the top 15 drivers are all within 1 second. So, I mean, that just goes to show you what we were talking about earlier, with about a 122 being the average for this whole division. Not quite the difference in thousands between too many of them just quite yet, but I certainly think that we'll see the gold intersperse between the silvers rather than all just jump to the top, especially in the second race. We still don't know 100% how each of them are going to be throughout the season, and looks like gold is heading out now. So we've got maybe, looks like 3 or 4 silvers still that can finish up their lap times, and gold is going out just to warm up their tires, and let's see what they do. Always nice to see dust flying up in front of
Flying.
you.
Yeah. Selena was trying to get a few more tenths out, but that dirt did not help. It is now invalid. Sorry. Look at putting the camera on her probably wasn't very nice.
I was gonna say, get some livery time there.
Yeah.
Here we see the teammates who we saw bump drafting last week on the extremely long straight at Paul Ricard. Let's see if they've got something planned for today.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any real sort of team tactics outside of maybe holding up other drivers out with you, either keeping them back or slowing them down in front of your teammate. Um, but otherwise, there's not really a bump draft down the straight kind of situation you're going to run into here.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something funny, but it just doesn't work. There's nothing that you can really expect to do just in qualifying to really do a teammate game here, at least that I can think of.
Yeah, so like Bosley said, bump draft into the corkscrew is about all you could do here. That would not be what you're after, I think.
Well, I was thinking, you know, if one guy parked on the corkscrew, the other guy could drive over him, so there's not such a big drop, you know, just sort of ramp it down.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like that might work in like iRacing or something.
Yeah, I've never tried iRacing. This is the only thing I know.
I don't know either. That's why I can make the comments about things I don't know.
Yes, park a Lambo in reverse would probably work. I've seen the AI ramp over Lambos, so I'm sure it would make a nice launch pad. We have
Okay,
Roy
let's,
Key we're watching now, who it was, I think when I looked at the leaderboards, was in the top 5, if not the second fastest for the week.
Let's see. He is second. Yes. Yeah. So most of the top 10 or so were gold drivers. Sort of expected, but like I said, it's one thing to do that in practice. It's a whole nother thing to do it day of, with so many more people on track and your nerves.
Hold on.
Did we just reset the?
Yeah, no, so my apologies that the race control, which I used to control who were watching at the time and stuff, just decided that it was gonna, like, fall on its face for a hot second. So just restarted, and we'll look at one of the Anastasi brothers.
That's a cool livery to get stuck on, man. I really like that.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice looking livery. Similar to one a friend of ours asked us to make them for, don't know what the car he was driving.
You see, what we need though is if they had been able to change the camo to more of a desert camo for this race, so you just can't see them sneaking up on you.
Yeah. Sort of blend in with all that sand.
Exactly. Not that they need it. I mean, you know, we all know Matt's fast. He does pretty well in these races from what I've been watching for a few seasons. Definitely a good driver. See maybe if he can work his way up to D1 next season, or, you know, maybe just stay here and win overall would be kind of nice too.
And so our current top gold driver is Evan Kim with a 122.250.
Oh, we missed it. They did something. Somehow they did something.
Somehow they did something. We missed it. There's no way he could be there. Well, remember,
Exactly.
last week Evan ended up starting in the pit. Was it the pit? So he didn't hit drive. And made it all the way up to, what was it, P10 or 11?
Yeah, something like that. He really charged through the rest of the pack.
Yep. So, I would not underestimate him in the lead. He did a very smashing job last week, and I would expect him to do similar this week. Hopefully he will start in his position.
I mean, it certainly looks like he's fast, so I guess we know the Lexus doesn't seem to have any problems here, I guess, looking at what these guys are doing. I do know that Laguna seems to be a little bit tougher for some of the cars that don't pivot so well, or at least don't, accelerate as well either. So some of the more middling cars that are sort of good everywhere are not so good at, let's say, this track. So, you know, for a while, this was a real Porsche track.
It looks like the BOP must have helped Evan out, because he just took P1 from Roy Key. So he's got the first sub 22 time with a 121.987. And it looks like he's got some time he can find on this track still.
Yeah, and we're just squeezing people in here together over on the standings, or at least the position. I mean, we're looking, just from what I can see without scrolling down, the top 23, the top 20, I'm just going to keep going, top 31 are all within 1 second. So, yeah, you just got nothing. You can't really plan here. You just have to do your best, and probably by the time the timer counts down and everyone pops up into their position on the grid is the first time you'll actually know where you are.
Absolutely. And it does look like, if Evan can keep that P1 spot, he might be walking away with this one. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about a track that's this short is that there's not the same sort of opportunity to just disappear into the distance because you're probably going to come up on some blue flags. It also makes it much harder to do a pit strategy where you come out into clean air because there's just people everywhere. So, getting out ahead of everybody in the beginning isn't so much the golden ticket here. However, it may get you somewhere between 10, 20, and a billion seconds clear of the crashes, which is just a possibility, we'll say, at tracks like this.
Goriel jumps up to P2, and he was our hot lap leader for the week. So I would bet he's got some time in him still. That's a 122, almost flat.
Yeah, I mean, the top three drivers are all within a tenth of a second of each other. I mean, yeah, these are short laps, so of course we're talking about, a certain percentage of the lap compared to others is probably similar for other tracks, but I just like numbers and stats, so it just looks impressive.
Yeah, he's not going to have to shave off too much time to take P1 from Evan. So, and he's almost a tenth up. There, he got it.
And assuming he's fueled well, he's definitely within time to cross the start finish
Woo!
and do another one. It didn't
That
look
was a little
great.
funky, sorry. I don't know what happened with that.
Oh, well, so I think he dropped down a bit too much on the inside of the corkscrew, and his car did a pretty big jolt,
Yeah.
which I think the camera tried to catch.
Aha. That.
So yeah, I don't believe he will improve from that one.
Nope. Unfortunately not, but he will get one more lap.
Okay, let's see. Anyone else gonna try to jump? Logan Schaefer from Silver is still sitting pretty in P4.
Yep.
That would be a very nice place to start for him. But it does look like a lot of gold has taken in the top 10, 11, 12. So maybe seeing more of a class split than I expected. Especially with times so close. It's just hard to, expect that there'd be a big difference between people inside the same division here. Oof, some yellow popping up over at the end of, what is that, turn 5, I think?
Yeah,
2 or 3
yeah.
of them yellow popping up over there.
It looks like they opted to return to pits because they won't be able to make another shot at this anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
We got Anastasi, who is up a little bit. That he can, he might only be up a little over a tenth, but that's a couple spots at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, oh, I might gain a
Absolutely.
couple hundredths. I'm going to jump 5 places or something.
And Roy is looking to jump a few spots on his time, maybe. As I flip over to him, doesn't work so well. So Evan Kim is improving on his time to make sure he can really cement in his P1 position, but it looks like there's no fear for him.
It also looks like they don't exactly have the team defense they could have if Doug had, qualified up there a la expecting the like the 2 Red Bull drivers to qualify right behind each other so they can do some sort of team defense. We got a little bit of a gap there between Evan and Doug, but maybe they're gonna play some sort of game where someone will come out of the pits and undercut or overcut or something with someone else blocking, because we expect them to be on a voice chat with each other and planning some sort of schemes, I bet.
I bet. So, poll is Evan Kim. P2 will be Goriel. P3, Roy Keefe. P4, Matt Anastasi. And let me jump over here and fix this. Looks prettier. because we like prettier. Let's see. Get my mouse to work. I'm really bad with the controllers. Hence, I do all this with the keyboard. But here is our grid. We'll go back. We have 2 minutes to get this done. Evan Kim, P1. Sam? Goriel? I will have to check that. So Goriel, Roy Key, and P3. P4, Matt Anastasi with that really cute Porsche livery. P5, Logan Schaefer. P6, Mr. Speed. P7, Victor Diaz. P8, Ian Wheeler. P9, Mr. Arc. P10, Gardner. 11, Josh Damiani. P12, Douglas Mitchell. 13, Paulie Hartman. 14, Donovan Colton. P15, Matt Diggs. P16, Selena Boonstra. 17, Chris Logan. I'm sorry. I know it's Logan. It looks like Logan to me. So 18 is Thomas Olhausen. 19, Matt Schwartz. 20, Mr. Mueller. 21, Brian Anderson. 22, Krachik. 23, Mr. Platt. And can you help me with the rest of the list I can't bring up while I'm doing this?
I don't know if I have a way to see that, actually.
I can get it.
If I can just make it up if you like.
Woo! You can. You always could. Flip this over here so I can see. We were at, where were we?
23.
23.
Cody Platt.
Hey, Cody, play that. So 24, Mr. Higgs. 25, Ian Byron. 26, Kovac. 27, hands over to Tony. 28, Jess Osborne. 29, Matt Smith. 30, Mr. Lloyd. 31, Maxwell. Marvin Landshark. Zach Sky. Rusty Burns. Artem, and we are off.
So close.
Yes, it was so close, but
And looks like it's Simon Goriel.
thank you, Simon Goriel. So
Okay,
one
so
of these
yesterday.
days-
Oh,
Yeah?
what are you saying? Oh, I was
no,
just
so
sorry.
one of these days I'll get this. I'll get this figured out, and we'll actually have the full walk. Just too many cars to get through.
Well, they'll have to up our pay then we get that good.
That's.
So yesterday in my race, we saw something that I've seen a couple other times. It seems to be a bit of a standard now, where the little widget or so, whatever they call it, that tells you where to be during the outlap, and especially where to be once you're too wide, just seems to have a little bit of a glitch here or there and tell people to be in slightly the wrong places. Or they just end up in these weird gaps where it kind of doesn't make sense, but they swear they're in the right place. And I don't think anyone got a drive-through from it yesterday, but certainly a few people were a bit confused and out of position, and so there was a little chaos just caused by that, I think, going into turn one of not having everyone be able to sort of start around the same, too wide spread out. So it's a little bit interesting to see if that'll happen here, and we do sometimes see a drive-through pop up on the board right away when people have those mistakes, and usually it's not a mistake that they've made, but there is always speeding under the green too.
So we are lining up double file now.
Yeah, it's always fun to drive offline and just hear all that dirt and rocks and rubber shoot up under your car and just make sure you have absolutely no grip for the start of a race.
Best way to start a race. We passing the pit lane there. You can see that short entry. They round the
Hopefully
last
they pack
turn.
up. Come on, guys, let's go
Yep.
get that grouping. Waiting for the green lights. Let's go racing, guys. We are heading down into turn 1, the kink, but let's just say it's not really turn 1, and we'll see how everyone does down into the hairpin.
Yep. Keeping an eye on stuff. So far, it looks clean in the front.
Yeah, that was very nice and clean. Everyone's sort of pyramid, into the turn. Looks like we still
Yep.
have no yellows that I can see in the back. People sort of getting into single file, but I bet there's still some 2 wide battles going all the way in the back.
Oh, absolutely. With Evan Kim running away at the start, we'll jump around a little bit.
Oh, somebody off nice and early. Unfortunate, but hopefully just a spin, get back on the track and get going. Only one isn't bad.
That would be Ian Wheeler in the back. Had a little oopsie.
Oh, wasn't he our winner last week?
If I was
Yeah,
the
he
same,
was.
yeah, he was last week's winner.
That is unfortunate for his start, but that just means he's going, last to first and gonna
Yes.
make it look even better.
Little wiggles. They approach the final turn. So Evan Kim has a 1.5 second lead on P2.
Yeah, that's a nice little jump, definitely.
Absolutely. So, ooh, Doug.
No. Well, I was just gonna say Doug had gained some places, and now we know why, Doug, huh? Getting his elbows out.
That was elbows out, and that's a tough place. That is, but
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got to get up, to help his teammates. So if you just gotta shoulder your way through a little bit, I guess that's
Yeah.
the move.
It's not an easy track to find a path on.
No, definitely not. It's definitely something you just sort of wait for people to make mistakes, or to be honest, when you're at these divisions, you should be able to sort of get a little bit more shoulders, elbows, whatever you can out in there and get alongside, and you have a little bit more trust that the drivers in this division are going to be able to stay safe through those sort of maneuvers, because in the end, that's what the high-level racing has to do.
Absolutely. And you do see that. You see that more as you move up. And people learn. You learn, oh, this move is just not okay, or I can do this with this person. You can kind of get away with it. As we see some really nice side by side going through there. That's the way that should be done. Josh Damian.
Yeah, I think they had a little bit of a bump still, and they come out of it, and yeah, there's a little bit of a swerve, but everybody's safe. We've got a ton of time, a ton of laps at this really small track, so there's no need to really defend too hard. Oh, we're back on the Steph Fines crashes.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry, Mr. Logan. That was not very nice of me. I didn't. I
Some
swear I don't.
style points for drifts.
Yeah. There's some close racing here. And
looks like he got a run on him there.
Yes, he did. Oh, going into the corkscrew. They're not going to fight it. Very smart.
Yeah, I mean, the Mustang, knowing that he was going to lose that place, sort of makes sense to get out to the side, but you do put yourself in a bad part of the corkscrew doing that. So I maybe would have tried to not defend more, but at least keep more of the inside line, because going a little bit too wide in the bus stop is where I spun yesterday.
Not good.
That was very well done there by the Lexus. Getting a very tight line around the final turn and getting on the throttle is difficult where the line is. You want to kind of get on the throttle and drift out to track out. But to get the power down there and to really get, that drag race down the main straight, that looked like a good job.
So D2
Everybody.
is showing everybody how to race on Laguna Seca so far.
And just
I did.
so
Getting a
Holthausen
little,
was in the pits. I wonder if he was he the one that spun off earlier?
Ian
If not, he might be going for the
Wheeler it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Wheeler. So I wonder if Olhausen is going for the super big brain move of getting out into clean air. As long as you can stay ahead by, I don't know, tenths of a second per lap, compared to the leader, then you should be able to stay, ahead for these laps. You've got a lot of time, especially doing that now. I think that your window to do the early pit stop strategy certainly goes down very quickly at this track. Oh, okay, and so look at that. We got a little bit of a battle finishing off there, and of course, as two cars are slowing each other down, it looks like one might have got a run from behind, and maybe takes a two-car pass right there. Definitely something you want to look out for in such a tight track, is when other cars are battling each other. How can you benefit from their misfortune?
Victor Diaz trying to really battle Matt. Did get past him. We'll see how this works out. He gave us a pretty good show last week. So maybe he can catch up to the top 3. So P1 to 4 are all 1 second plus away from each other. So this keeps up. We'll take a look at them again for a little bit like we did last week, just so they can get some screen time. But right now, Evan Kim is P1 with a almost 3-second lead.
Do you want to jump to Miller, or who else has just come out of the pit? So the two people have pitted early, and they have come out right next to each other.
Teammates, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say clean air, not so much the move, but it looks like they might have done this on purpose.
Yep.
That is a big brain strategy team move, I think.
Joint effort to see what will happen. Ian Wheeler trying to make up those spots he missed. Really
a lot of swerving.
Giving Harold some grief. Just trying to make him sweat, but he's trying to give him grief there too.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can swerve that much, which should lose you, time and space, and still stick to somebody's tail like that, it's only a matter of time before you get by. And to be honest, that means you're being held up. Your race, your comeback, as it were, from where he sort of dropped to, is being held up massively when you see him, see someone be this much faster than the person in front of him.
Yes, but it's still his responsibility to get past there safely, and that's not going to help.
That's not going to help.
Yeah, so that's that fantastic, fantabulous dirt we all know and love.
Yeah, and of course, if you look as we, jump around to these different battles going on, the battles that are really, really close, and we see these two wide coming into the final turn here, and look at the gap between those two and the cars in front. That's what you're going to see with these battles, is there's multiple second gaps in just a few laps, because defense is so costly here on this track.
Oh, it is. Now you've got Maxwell sniffing up the back of Jess coming into turn 1. Just from that final turn, them going too wide through there slowed him down so much.
Yeah, it is nice to see such a variety of cars in different places, knowing that the BOP seems to have worked pretty well, except for somehow all of the Porsches found themselves dead center. I think that's a conspiracy.
Quite
also,
possibly.
Is Evan catching the two early pit stoppers? Because that would not be good for them.
It's quite possible. I'm a little hesitant to break away from this little battle here going on.
Oof. And we have yellow going up the hill towards the corkscrew right in the back. Not really a good reason to jump back in and see now, but that is unfortunate for somebody. I believe that is Smith. Unfortunate.
Looks like Selena's looking to see if she can make a move on Logan Schaefer.
Yeah, it looked like she was maybe thinking about coming on the inside, but still had a little bit too much speed to carry, so just slot back in behind him and set it up a little bit later. Luckily, there's a gap in front of him, so she doesn't have to worry too much about him moving around to fight somebody else. She can really just attack. And also, the driver behind her is dealing with some of his own traffic issues himself, so I think she's just free to really make this fight her own.
She is. Yeah, Jay, it's been a pretty quiet race. People have been behaving and showing us how racing should be done.
Yeah, I do think that, because this track is so short, oh wow, two coming down
That
the
was tight.
corkscrew. Yeah, especially here because you sort of lift and let around and then get on the throttle as early as you can, but wow, the Ferrari was just able to make that work. I didn't know that the Lambo was going to back off as much right there. I don't know if I would have trusted that in my division.
Yeah.
Boo, professional driving.
Looks like Damiani just was able to slide right past Diggs.
Yeah, you gotta wonder too
Higgs,
from the...
and these two are still going at it.
Is that the same two we just saw?
I think so. Champion Motorsports and a Lambo.
Yeah, so he just retook his position. Not bad. And as those two are fighting, of course, they're going to bring in the Nissan of Colton behind them, looking to pick up the scraps, as it were.
Absolutely.
Looks like they're a little bit further away here, so nothing coming, no real big dive. Of course, that turn is pretty much a sweeper, as is the next one. But as we come up the hill and start heading back towards the corkscrew, let's see where they are. As they come down the hill, like last time, it was too wide going into the third sector of this track.
See if they're gonna. Nope, they're still following in behind each other.
Yeah, Ferrari taking maybe a little bit too much of that inside and dropping down a bit. A little bit of a dangerous maneuver, but you can get away with it, especially depending on how you set up the car.
So we've got Landshark back here. He's seeing what he can do to get around Platt. Meanwhile, Zach Sky is again, fighting slows you down. The guy behind you's catching up. Now you gotta fight him. And Lloyd, it says it's almost an accordion effect.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely like traffic on a highway, Someone slows down, the next person slows down. Someone is going slow off to the right here. We've got multiple two wides coming down the main straight. Interesting. Mercedes versus BMW. Looks like the BMW braked a little bit later and is going to take it around the outside. That is some good driving right there.
Yeah, they'll be able to hold on to that for now.
Yeah, that's a nice little switchback attempt by the Mercedes, but didn't pull it off.
But it's still tight, so we'll see what happens.
Also looks like Kurt and that Porsche are doing a little bit of drifting in the back, and you see the gap now opening up so he can't, stick it to this battle as well. It's just between these two, both of them getting a little bit out of sorts heading up the hill here. Looks like the Mercedes has a little bit of a run, maybe gaining a thousandths or so up that straight, but having to take it a little bit wider around the top of the corkscrew because of catching up to the car in front. However, getting a tighter line here, so we'll see if he can set himself up for a dive maybe in the final turn. But nope, too big of a gap. Should be able to take this nice and easy going down the main straight.
I'll jump back up to Landshark and Platt. They're close their gap up a little bit. We'll see how that works out.
And Jess just sitting there in a little bit of a gap for himself, hoping these two can fight each other enough to slow them down and let him keep going head forward.
Yeah, I always love knowing that the guy behind me is fighting somebody else. That's always a big fat plus.
I do think the leader is just about to catch our early pitters.
Let's just
We've got
see.
some yellow in the background too.
Then we can, yes, he is. So now, Evan, there's your time in the spotlight. You have a 3.5-second gap. You're making it bigger. Okay.
I also think someone just disappeared. There was a yellow between turn 2 and 3, and then the car disappeared, so we may have lost somebody.
That would be a
It looked
shame.
like a number 600 something. Oh, yellow in the corkscrew. That is not good. Looks like they're able to get back on the track. Yellow at... Oh, okay, we're getting yellows here and there. Everything's
Let's go
popping
take
off.
a gander at that because maybe it'll be fun. And I missed it.
Just 15 minutes into this race, things are now popping off.
Ding! Ding!
That's just a case, I think, of, you know, multiple laps being real close and not being able to have the patience you need to wait for the move to really come to you. Not that I have the patience, but, you know, they need it, not me.
Well, you might get a little tired of you, and when you're that close, it just takes a little mistake, and that's the end of that.
Well, especially if you're following someone for multiple laps on a short track like this, because you'll just feel like, oh, it's turn 1 again, oh, it's turn 1 again.
Yeah.
Well, they did this the last 3 times, so I'll try this, and then as soon as they make a little bit of a different move, maybe by accident, then you can cause an accident because you're both expecting something different. But yeah, all these little yellows popping up there have created some pretty sizable gaps throughout the pack if you look at the track map there. There's still a nice
Ding.
big
Ooh,
pack at the beginning, and there is a nice big shoulder off at the end of the final turn.
But they were pretty gentlemanly about getting back on, although it cost them both a couple of spots, it looked.
I think that's just Laguna. You know, honestly, you sort of go, oh, another contact. Let's just keep going. There's no reason to get mad at it.
Yep.
At least not these sort of contacts anyway.
No, and it's so tight. It's so hard to pass anybody, and I was about to say, you know, no one's really spinning out badly, but there are a few that were a little less nice. But the field is actually quite spread out at the moment. We've got this little pack here going.
The leader has made it past one of the early pit stoppers. That is, I don't know if that strategy is going to work out for them. You know, a track like this with so many laps and so many turns, it is almost nighttime. It is sort of cold. Their tire pressures probably won't suffer too much, but their tires certainly will. And it's not great if you suddenly have to let blue flags by all the way from the 40th minute. You know, blue flag hell is a big deal here. You lose 1 second down a straight letting a blue flag go. That is a significant percentage of your lap time. So that's probably not great for those 2 early pit stoppers.
No,
Doug,
I'm
though,
not sure
P6.
what they're. Yeah, he's flipped himself up there. But I'm not sure what they were thinking with that early pit. But maybe they both had a bad start and said, you know what, let's just go have some fun. Just drive around together. So Anderson's still battling back here, and Logan right behind him waiting for someone to make a mistake, which...
And there it goes.
There it is. Sorry, Brian, for the bad cursing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a mistake. You know, lose 1 place, but it doesn't seem like it really cost him. So now he's back, and this little battle here is still 3 cars all within the same, you know, time and distance. So he can sit there just like Logan was doing and, you know, wait for someone to come to him. Hopefully his tires weren't too affected by a little bit of dust and dirt. Seems like he's doing fine just now, but certainly, as we've talked about, something to worry about into your next big braking zone or next big high grip turn. once you've got some dirty tires and a little bit of graining maybe on them. We got some more pit stops going on right now. Are those
Schwartz,
the early?
Bolton, both opting to pop into the pit.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, I don't think the pit stop total time here is very long. But it seems like they might have timed this well. There is a large gap between these two cars that are, one of them's about to come down the final turn, and I think they're probably going to come out right behind this car. So they might have done this well, assuming they can keep up some significantly, good quality lap times as they have clean air. Let's see if they can make it to the end of the pit lane and get back on track before they get caught.
Check this out. We've got Gardner and trying to catch up to Damiani. There was a off-track car there. Looks like they had trouble with corkscrew.
Yeah, that's going to slow this battle down. That car has to recover a little bit. Oof,
And it
that
may
is
actually
not good.
allow the little group behind them to catch up too. So,
Oh, and someone a little bit off there.
yeah, the cameraman had a few too many to drink.
I think that was Logan Schaefer in the McLaren. You know, just a case of following a group all the way down into a braking zone where it's that accordion effect we talked about earlier. But again, because it's a group and because they slow each other down, he went off and now he's right back in the same place. Nothing too big to worry about.
Thankfully, it wasn't a big off, just a little oopsie.
And I've kicked my cat out of the room and I'm back. He was playing fine until just now. But, you know, when we're watching racing and talking about this battle and that battle, maybe you don't want to hear right in the middle of it.
Oh, I think that you're in probably the right place to allow the little meows going on. A lot of cat fans in this league, at least from what I gather.
Might be more exciting than some of the things happening on track. I mean, definitely with these gaps, it's a little bit of a hot lapping scenario for some of these drivers, which, I mean, maybe that's something that you kind of hope for, you know, if you're much better at hot lapping than you are in traffic like I am. So I certainly would rather be one of them. But definitely at the front, we still have a pretty
Little
tightly
drag race
packed
and
group.
tippy taps here between Polly and Speed.
Well done to back out of that. Let's see if they can catch back up, though. Might have lost too much time backing out, but it is always interesting from this, you know, helicopter view to see them sort of swerve together and out and together, where you maybe don't feel that as well when you're actually in the car. But it looks so much more dramatic when you can see them from bird's eye view. We also did have another yellow, I believe, down at the final turn. Maybe the person who just went into the pits and it called yellow. Wait, what
That
happened?
was,
Magic.
yeah, I think it was something because everybody's on track, but somehow
The game
yeah.
does not like the corkscrew with this this camera.
Yes, it's in any well, yeah, I guess any camera, it's doing it very strange tonight. So do the best we can.
Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of people who have pitted now. I didn't even notice how many more had gone in. I mean, it's obviously not half the group, but we are still, you know, well before half the race. So whether it's because they actually need it or they think they're going to get out to a better area, you kind of hope they don't need it at earlier stages, because that just means the later stages of their race are going to be much more difficult.
Yeah, I see Paulie Hartman hop in. I do recall he was battling a bit back and forth, so he might have just said enough. Let me get out, get some clean air. I'll do better that way.
Ooh, wow, I was expecting Logan to get a little bit of a bump there on Selena. It looked like he was closing that down way too fast, but honestly, that's just me. He wasn't way too fast. He had it under control, it looks like. Wasn't able to stay exactly on her bumper all the way through the next couple turns, but he's still there. We'll see how she takes the corkscrew. Looks like she does. Oh, there's a car in front off a little bit wide.
Like Matt
That's going to be a
takes
little
it,
bit
yeah.
nerve-wracking.
And that gives her silver P1 for the silver division. I guess Matt Diggs must have had some trouble on that corkscrew, which cost him 2 positions.
But it's just such an easy set of turns. I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah, right. So Goriel and Key both are in the pit.
Oh yeah, there's a big
Andy
group,
Speed.
all of them that were around the same patch.
Yeah, those were our, I think, P2, P3 positions. So now you've got Evan Kim and Victor Diaz up front. Evan has opened up a 9-second gap on the current P2.
Well, let's see if the people in the pits can pull off some sort of 15 to 20 second undercut. You know, come out of the pits, do a flyer, jump from the corkscrew to turn 1 somehow, and maybe take out Evan Kim.
Maybe. I don't know what anybody can take it out on purpose. Here they're
No, I mean, you know, take him out of the lead.
Okay.
You're
I
trying to
heard that
jump
wrong.
from the corkscrew to turn 1. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna take somebody out perfectly, but the aim has got to be good.
Yes. Enough speed to carry you over that hill.
Looks like we have almost half of the well, at least a third of the drivers have all pitted now. We are coming to 1 or 2 laps before the middle of the race, as we'll probably start seeing a lot more of them pile in. Something to keep an eye on is any of these groups that are close as they pile into the pits. Sometimes there's a little bit of an argy-bargy or slamming on the brakes a little bit too soon, too late, etc. when that happens. So it does maybe benefit you to pit opposite of some of the other people around you. And there you go. That's possibly what they were thinking, or they were just pitting, but I think they were doing it based on the strategy I was talking about right now. Man, Logan is staying right on Selena's bumper, but I mean, we talked about this last week. Her defense is top notch, and especially the Porsche just does so well with defense, especially to a track like this, where the tight turns are really where the Porsche is, you know, is best. So if you can't hang around that tight turn, you're not going to get enough of a run, especially on these short straights, to really get around her. And then as she's catching up to the back of the Mustang of Damiani, who's in his own little battle as they slow down. So this will just make it all the more harder. Logan really just needs to kind of sit there and be patient.
Yeah, because you had Damiani's been chasing Anastasi for quite some time, really battling with him.
Doug
and
Art in the pits.
Yeah, and they were pretty close there for a bit. They're battling a little bit. See how they come out.
Yeah, it does look like Logan has got turn 1 down really, really well. He seems to be taking that just about perfectly, but it just doesn't seem like it can get him to pull off the next few, you know, straight sweepers and everything to catch up to a good place to pass. This is Selena going around the Mustang of Damiani. I don't know why he checked up. Is that Damiani?
No, Damiani's ahead. I'm gonna bet it was a blue flag.
I was gonna say, I hope that's a blue flag. Otherwise, that was an
probably
incredibly
Sodre,
bad
who
move.
is back in P36.
Okay, yeah, that was interesting. Saw some sparks coming out from behind the Logan McLaren there as he takes maybe a little bit too much of a inside run on the bottom of the corkscrew, but again, cars can handle that, just maybe not all the time. And he's going to take himself out of this battle to see if he can maybe undercut Selena, or just, you know, make it exactly a 50-50 pit strategy for him, as many people are wont to do.
many battles happening at the moment around here.
Oh, who just came out behind Selena out of the pits? Looks like
What?
possibly Maxwell?
Yes. Looks like Maxwell's right behind. Well, he's got 17 seconds behind
Oh,
her.
okay, so whoever came out behind her, I believe, is probably a lap down. Whoever
Down,
that yellow Mustang. I think we might have seen that go off earlier today too.
Yes.
So
I believe you are correct. And yeah,
so
with
she's not in any danger there.
with a
That's
short
good.
track, somebody who's had a few bad laps, so you lost some time. It really is compounded much faster. You're gonna have probably more blue flags earlier on, like we're seeing, and that will maybe spice things up a little bit, or it'll just spread everybody out some more. And then we can
And
start
we
talking about all of our sponsors and stuff instead. I have nothing else to look at.
yeah, and actually, since we talked about pit entrance today, let's talk about pit exit a little bit. It is interesting getting to the end of that pit exit where you have to do a hairpin at. Oh, okay, wait, let's talk about this for a second. I don't know if that's a blue flag or not, but there's too wide going
Nope,
past.
it's not. That is just spice. You've got
Around the Aston too? Yeah, I guess it is.
Yep, Donovan Colton, Crockett, and Tom Olhausen. Matt Schwartz is right behind them, looking to catch up if anybody makes another mistake like that.
Yeah, actually, if we remember correctly, Olhausen was one of the first pit stop in that Aston Martin. So, you know, he's an extra 20-ish minutes or so on his tires right now compared to those drivers around him. Still have a whole lot of this race to go. Wonder if he'll be competitive against those who are coming up around behind him.
So now you have Roy Key is behind Victor Diaz. So in the whole pit shuffle, Victor was able to get past Roy prior to the pit stop. He was behind him. So now Roy wants to get back his position.
And Evan is in the pits.
The race leader is in the pit. Okay. So, yeah, the pit, he's in, and then it's just Damiani, Landshark, and Artem that need to pit still.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how close when Evan Kim comes out, Goriel is to him. See if the undercut, you know, works a little bit here. Or maybe Goriel's been, you know, through some traffic or in battle, but it does look like he's got a pretty good gap. I believe he's our tentative P2.
And Evan went in with a fat lead, so. See what happens. He's
Yeah, it
coming
looks like-
out now.
So only
Goriel
Damiani
is
to go
coming
for
down
pitting.
the line though. But Evan got out ahead.
Yeah, but look at that. That gap has definitely come down a lot now. Do your new tires for the next, I don't know, 26 minutes, but plus 10 compared to the car behind you. If you know he pitted that much earlier, plus 5 or what have you. Does that make all the difference? Is Evan able to continue his dominant, you know, up front running? It does look like they have a nice gap to everyone. I mean, they were far enough ahead, I guess, that, and at the time of when he pitted, no real challenging coming out behind blue flags or anything for the leaders or the
No, it's like
presumptive leaders.
He's having a good race.
Yeah, speaking of a good race, definitely Pauly trying to come up and then take away a place at the top of this corkscrew. But Logan is right on his tail. Little bit dangerous. Let's see, but Logan is, it seems this race, doing a very good job at getting right on people's bumpers and just perfectly not getting into them, which is a very, you know, very tough talent to get into and to learn. It's very scary depending on what screens or VR you have when you feel like you're inside of somebody's bumper and you're really like 10 feet away, but seems to be he knows exactly where his bumper is. Let's see if the slipstream can get him. No, it doesn't seem to be getting enough. It's a slow straight, a little bit of a kink, but yeah, slipstream really didn't do anything for him. He's
Nope.
gonna have to be patient and try to get the overtake done somewhere else, as Paulie is now dropping back off of the car in front because he has to defend.
Yeah, they're gonna be. It is a hard track to pass on. You really have to rely on either getting a really good run out of the last turn up that straight, or getting a really good run out of the last turn up that straight.
Oh yeah, there's a run. That's definitely. Oh, he's not going to take it though. I guess
No.
yeah, coming up you have to take the inside, but
Yeah.
backing back out in the center just made him lose a whole bunch of space. Right now, probably not worth it, but maybe in the next 15 minutes we start seeing people take a little bit more risk.
I imagine so. Probably still not looking to have any kind of incidents. Risk losing too much. As it looks like Doug Mitchell took our fastest lap of the race with a 122.3 so far.
Yeah. And Gardner had it just before then, so
Yep.
it is interesting seeing people who are not at the front do this. So whether they're getting a little bit of a slipstream or that clean open air up front isn't as fast as we would think. Now, is that a overtake just there, or is that a
Yes.
failed overtake?
Olhausen just got past Schwartz. Took the
Nice.
P18 position from him, though he was part of that team that pit very early on in this race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Schwartz, having to go wide there has compromised his next few turns, as normally happens, and now we have the Porsche of Kovac come right by him. That's just, what happens when you are, losing a place or defending. You mess one turn up and it messes up the next few turns. There's no really good way to recover your momentum, especially if the car behind you is able to stay on line. And so you end up losing that place, and it looks like he took a little bit of an inside line down the corkscrew there too, so he's probably going to lose a little bit of a gap here to the Mustang behind him. Might be a little bit on his back foot here is Schwartz, so we'll see if Anderson can pull something together and take him down the main straight.
Up front, we have P7 catching up to our P6 arc, who might be getting held up by a blue flag a little bit.
Wait, what is going on? Is that Doug?
Yeah, so you've got
Well, so the Mercedes just let them by a blue flag, but Doug was going slow for some reason, must have had some sort of problem, and now they're neck and neck heading up the hill. That sweeper,
and that was no.
Oh no. Wow, how
Thank goodness. That was close. So that
How did the
poor
Mercedes
Mercedes in the
survive
back.
And all this starts with off-screen.
Breathing
For some
heavy.
reason, Doug was going slow and allowed the next two drivers to catch up. Oh, and Mercedes catches a bit of a tail slapper there. But yeah, Doug recovering and then getting back under... whoa!
Ooh,
Maybe not recovering as much
Gardner,
as we think.
that would be Gardner having a little wee moment.
Yeah, but if Doug was braking a little bit too early there, I wonder if, going so hard and getting that fast lap that he got and that Gardner got maybe has hurt their tires a bit.
It's possible.
Andy's speed. Oh,
wait.
There they are. That's yep, sort of off screen, but possibly expected. The Mercedes.
Because it was almost coordinated.
A nice double spin. Are those? No, it's okay. It's an Aston
No.
Mercedes. I was like, are they teammates?
Yeah. It did look close.
But I think that definitely was the Mercedes that was having some trouble for the last few turns.
Kovac and Olhausen battling it out over here. Yeah, I do believe that's a blue flag crash.
hopefully not a blue flag and somebody high up. But I mean, any blue flag crash is unfortunate. As we see this, last 20 minutes, and tires are really going to start to come down. Even if they've only pitted 10 or 15 minutes ago, there's other things that come into play where you've got a lot less weight now, and so maybe you're not used to where you can or should be braking when you're traveling behind somebody and have their dirty air and the heating up of the tires, etc., etc., etc. Your tires just may not be as nice as they should have been.
Like Platt had a bad run coming up to the corkscrew. Artem got past him, and now he's got the Rusty Burns and LeMay looking to also get past him if they can get those spots. Because a spot is a spot.
Not going for the dive, but definitely sticking to him. Artem is definitely losing some, Platt here has definitely lost a step on the last few turns. Maybe he can take a breath down the straight and gain his composure back together, but he is hard under the challenge from Rusty Burns there.
Brian Anderson, ooh, he is
going for the dive.
He is going for the dive. So now, getting, I guess, towards the second half of the race, and people are willing to. Woo-hoo-hoo! That was sad. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, too wide through that turn is
Just
so tough.
Never.
Well, there's so much camber on the inside that if you get the inside, it's just easy. But if you're on the outside and you've lost that camber, or if you're on the inside and you touch that curb even a little bit, you jump to the side. And I think that seeing any movement to that right made the car on the right sort of swerve over. Let's see if he will get a run right here and maybe get that place back. Or get the place.
Nope.
Was he?
Nope. So
okay.
Colton did a good job defending going into
defense,
that turn.
Okay.
Yes. Landshark got past Kovacs while we were not looking. Forward.
The leader is coming up on another blue flag, I believe, so there is at least something to slow Evan Kim down and maybe see if, some of the others in the pack can gain a 10th here or there.
Evan Kim, who now has the purple lap of the race, and he won.
Yeah, I mean, they say that, traffic gives and it takes away. So it all kind of depends on when you luck out and where you've caught up to them. So, if you're the leader and you're catching up to one car in traffic, but you catch him in a turn, you can lose precious tenths to the car behind you that then catches that traffic in a straight line and now suddenly has gained all that extra place. So, there is still a chance that you'll be able to gain that gap that someone has taken out just from playing the traffic right.
Ooh,
getting a
Lance
little
Sharp
bit of a
having
swerve
a little
there.
bit of a. You got some Porsche on Porsche racing here.
Yeah, and he ended up going off to the left too. He's setting himself up for. Oh, geez. I was gonna say, he's setting himself up for a bad straight here, but then, behind him having to deal with that yellow Aston means that this is gonna have to be a pretty late dive. Is he gonna brake real late? He's going for it.
He's gonna go for it. It's a Porsche, so you can get away with things like that.
Yeah, he saw the door open and he took it.
Absolutely. But I mean, the fat lady probably didn't sing yet. Am I still allowed to say that?
I assume so. I mean, I don't know. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Man, it's starting to look real pretty with the sunset. These
very.
views from the side as you go up, like the cinematics of Laguna Seca is just gorgeous. The Mustang taking another inside route on the corkscrew, that little bit of a drop down, definitely affecting, and
ooh,
I don't know
looked
what that
like he
move
kind of
was.
went out a little bit, but he was able to hang on to his position there.
Yeah, but if he swerved that much, maybe it slowed the Aston, or maybe it
Yeah.
Slowed the guy behind him not to crash, but that looked
Possibly you
like an
see
odd
somebody
jank.
swerve out and back in, and you're probably going to let off a little bit.
Yeah, and especially as caught right back up to him like that, knows that you're faster. There's 15 minutes. There's a little bit of a gap in front of this car. You're probably not going to make up too many more spaces. So, I think take your time, and he'll get that Mustang.
Sparks flying as Gardner's following, digs up that hill into the corkscrew. Just trying to keep close on the bumper, looking for a spot to get by.
Wow, Gardner dropped a lot.
Oh, poor
Oof,
Landshark has
Landshark.
had a bit of a... Oh, and that was a sausage.
Curb death. Yeah, that's what happens when you got a big yellow Aston in your rearview mirror.
And those curbs are just awful.
Yeah, the Porsche definitely isn't a car that can take it and just
Is
bounce
there
around over
a
it.
car that can take the curbs on this track? I mean, they're just in the worst places.
I just feel like Mustangs kind of can, and certainly if there's any boats still driving around in the league, which I know there's at least one or two. Selena here is leading Silver Class in this race by quite a good margin after seeming to have gotten away from Diggs and Logan Schaefer, who had been right behind her all the way into the pit stop.
Yep, she's been having a good race so far. Speaking of Diggs, he's back here being chased down by Gardner.
Oh man, Aston on Aston. Gardner had a fastest lap earlier too. That's not a car you want to see coming up behind you if you're having any trouble. Definitely
Oh,
gonna get
Josh
away from this.
Damiani looking to make a move on
That is
Selena. That was
That's
nice.
tight. Yeah, she hung around outside, a lot longer than I definitely would have, and did a good job. They had a lot of respect there, so
Yep.
great driving from both of them. Definitely not over yet. That Mustang will certainly get squirrely, I'm sure, near the end of this race. Is that a blue flag in front of Damiani? Yeah, it's.
No,
Oh no,
that
it's
is
okay.
Anastasi,
Yeah, that's the camouflage is
which
making
I
it look like a
believe
different
they
car.
were battling for a while before.
Yeah, they're definitely going a bit slow though. I mean, because Damiani just caught Anastasi from the Selena move in less than a lap. Um, Looks like maybe those Porsches are having a bit of trouble right now.
That is possible. They're not known for their fantastic tire wear, even though our pit rules here for the whole season are tires. Pit rules are tires, no fuel.
And Josh definitely didn't expect to see Selena right back in his rear view,
No.
having to get on the power a little bit later out of the final turn there. Andy Speed looking to come up behind this group as everyone slows each other down. Maybe he can pull off a couple more places, and they're all in the top 10, which is definitely a good finish, but you always want to be a little bit higher.
Yeah, Damiani was the last car to pit on this track, so he has the freshest tires.
Yeah, I wonder what place he was in, like, actually, when everyone was still running normally. If he had gained any, if he's moved up since. I thought I remember him a little bit further back, so I think he's gained a few places back, maybe from
Yes.
a issue in the start.
I believe so. Yeah, Mr. Higgs is doing well. He's got clean air. Actually, everybody from P1 to P7 is just hot lapping.
Yeah, with 10 minutes left, doesn't look like anything interesting is going to happen between them unless some blue flag issue happens. Although someone did just go straight back to the pits from a yellow heading up from turn 5 into turn 6. So don't know what happened there, but it was right in front of the leader, I believe.
I don't see anyone in the pits to grab it and see what happened.
Yeah, they disappeared as soon as they went back to the pits. The car just disappeared. I think might have disconnected or might have just, rage quit out.
Yeah, so enough of this. Yeah, if you have an incident 9 minutes left in the race that you end up having to go back to the pits for, you just might decide that tonight is not your night.
I mean, look here at Damiani taking, definitely more curb in some places and staying a little bit more on the racing line you expect than Anastasi. I think Anastasi might be getting a little bit tired with his, tires, to excuse the pun, but brakes, everything might be, something that you're fighting.
Oh!
Speaking of fighting.
Yeah. Wait, that got spicy. Let's see.
Final turn.
Yep, final turn.
Just
ding, ding, ding,
bad
ding, ding, ding.
driving.
Yes, Steph is speaking from experience, but at least I sat in the pit till the end of the race.
That was terrible. That wasn't a dive. That was just being in the completely wrong place and the wrong speed. And just ruining the end of the race for a couple people. Very unfortunate, but things do happen as the races tend to get towards the end. Is that a pass for position?
Yes, Brian Anderson just went past Arc.
That seemed easy.
Yeah, I'm not, I just went and replayed that incident and I can't remember who it was already. So, can't rat on anybody because my memory is too short. Or, my short-term memory doesn't work that well. Especially when it comes to names.
And Damiani under 2/10 now, coming up on Anastasi here. Does sort of accordion, as the laps go, but he's staying right on the bumper and just doesn't seem to be able to get enough of a run to set up a smooth or comfortable dive. Really close here, but loses a little bit coming out of the turn, so you lose just that extra 100th or so where you're not in a place to make the dive. Going off a little bit there again. But is he going to take this? He's going to try around the outside, but, being safe and driving respectively. Really good defense from Anastasi right there. I mean, I might have given up that turn expecting that I'd already lost it, but he just held in. Great driving, especially this late in the race. Selena just licking her chops as she sees these two going at it. We've got maybe, what do you say, 3-4 laps left to get this move done from Damiani. Let's see if he sets himself up well here. Definitely took it a little bit slow, which is why you saw Selena just close up right on him so quickly. I don't think that's going to set him up for the dive coming down or even just a regular overtake.
Wait, well...
He's just getting inside the mirrors of Anastasi, showing him he's still there, not really going to make that move, maybe trying to make him make a mistake. And as soon as you see someone make a move like that on purpose, it's back to D5 they go. it looks like Andy Speed back there is also doing some of those move in the mirrors of your opponent, seeing if he can unsettle Selena, or he's just trying to follow a tight battle and not keeping up as well. But either thing is going to put some lights moving in the back of your, back of your mirror. It's going to be a little bit distracting at this point in the race, especially as you're trying to keep an eye on the two fighting in front. Krochik going for possibly an overtake if he can stick with this car coming down. I would imagine the corkscrew setting himself up for the final turn and a run down the main straight. Ooh, big sparks in front. Oh, here we go.
Damiani and Anastasi doing a drag race down the...
Is Selena going to go for it as well? She had to move out. She was coming too fast from the slipstream, but yeah, definitely not going to take that place. Ooh, Anastasi really trying to stick in there and maybe not let it go, definitely, but I think this one is over. Tamiani's just got to really keep it safe now for the next 3 laps or so. 2 laps, who knows. But yeah, just keep it safe. As long as you do that, I don't think the Porsche is going to catch back up. And now it's up to Selena and Andy Speed there to put the pressure on this sort of moving backwards, shall we say, Porsche of Anastasi. It takes a lot out of your car to fight that long. Speaking of a fight here, that Aston Martin Mustang going up the hill with the BMW, trying to make the best of it behind there. Actually seems like the BMW dropped back a little bit, maybe as these two were fighting to avoid an incident. Is the Mustang going to go? No, okay, good. That was looking dangerous.
Yeah.
But got a better line through the corkscrew and is now possibly trying to take it. Nope. Okay, so he's going to, let's see if he can set up, stay really close to this Aston, right? And you're going to try to not take an inside line so much as maybe brake early and then trail brake really, really well, get on the throttle, and I don't know if he's close enough to make a run. I think the Aston's got the legs. Yeah, and the Aston lives for another few turns at least, as Anderson is still trying to improve from P17. Maxwell under attack here from Logan. Oof, that is not going to help. And
Nope.
avoided just the worst possible chance of a crash there. The Mustang getting off very, very nicely.
Oh, Selena is looking to collect Anastasi.
Yeah, she too has to be real careful with this. You definitely want to take that place, but she is ahead in silver by a pretty large margin. So, and also we see Speed coming in behind anytime they're a little bit off the line of pace. Is she going to go down the inside here of turn 2 and 3?
She's gonna.
All 2. Yeah,
But
Anastasi.
he's not gonna give it up yet.
No, you think he would have lost more time? Oh, a little bit of an argy-bargy there as they come around.
He is just
Oh,
not,
man.
and it's letting everybody ball up behind him.
And we had a yellow in the background somewhere,
Yeah,
but this is a
now you
pack of
gotcha.
4 now going too wide up the hill.
Anastasi, Boostra, Hartman, and Speed.
There are a bunch of yellows over the map. Not good. Or it might be the same one. Okay, so they're still neck and neck. It looks like an accordion of sort of who's in first, who's in second going on. Selena may have backed out a little bit and lost it here. Oh, now there's a fifth
Gardner's
car coming
it's...
in.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oh, just too tight, coming down and dropping at the last part of the corkscrew. Now Anastasi is fighting for his life on the 3 other cars behind, and Selena can hopefully just get herself off into the distance here. This
Yes.
final turn should be the last lap. just take it safe and leave these 4 behind her to battle, and she can, hopefully take 8th and P1 silver to the end.
Yep, did an amazing job there.
Yeah, staying side by side for almost an entire lap, especially as Anastasi went off a few times and still maintained his position while getting, dirt all over his tires and sliding into each other with a little bit of that argy-bargy they had. But now we're looking behind him seems to be safe because he's got the Aston and the Ferrari fighting each other. So, yeah, Anastasi, maybe you saw the writing on the wall as you lost the last 2 places, but you can stay in the top 10 if you just stay safe.
So now it's down to Anastasi trying to fend off Paulie Hartman, Gardner behind him, and Andy Speed behind that. Get this race finished.
Yeah, Gardner
Meanwhile,
trying to get
Evan
into the
Kim
top
has
10.
crossed the finish line.
Blah, blah, blah.
Sorry, Evan. Best and with the purple lap of a 122.1. So
Jeez, a 122.1, that's incredible.
yeah, for a race that's
Well, none of them in this division even qualified close to that. So, yeah, well done. And people
So-
keep filing across. Let's
Yep.
see if there's any runs here.
So Goriel came in at P2, Victor Diaz P3, Roy Key in P4, Douglas Mitchell came in P5, Josh Damiani P6.
Maybe jump back to Olhausen?
Yeah, I can do that for you. Higgs came in P7, Selena finished P8, Anastasi P9, and Paulie Hartman P10.
Ooh, that curb's not going to help. This Porsche
Nope.
going to get a run, drag race to the finish. Just not enough time.
Nope. Nope. There's a little clump back here. We'll see how they do. But
Keeping it clean.
little yay, it's finally over, swerve.
Yeah, it looks like no last second changes there, no last second excitement.
Nope. Overall, a nice, clean race from everybody. Good job, guys.
Yeah, definitely a good job. I mean, there's a couple yellows that popped up, a couple little things here and there. There was one sort of egregious dive we caught there in the last 10 minutes that was pretty bad, but overall, if you only have one, that's not too big of a deal. Great job
No.
for Evan, especially after last week.
Yep. He did a great job last week. We did end up pulling him in the booth because our pole position people didn't want to talk. Well, they just weren't in any kind of place to grab them, but he did have a very strong showing last week in spite of starting in the pit, and this week was no different, and he remembered to hit drive and held on to pole pretty much the entire race. So
Well, he was doing this at the end of last season too, so gotta wonder if Doug's gonna lose his teammate out to a D1 change coming up.
that's possible. I mean, I don't know if there's any kind of admin
Or to sandbag
tool
better.
to prevent it, but I guess we can steal Evan and get him up here for yet another interview. Hey, Evan.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. You're in the booth with us yet again. And this
I am.
time with an amazing,
Oh,
pole
I'm
fastest
feeling
lap.
so nice. I'm feeling great. Yeah, got the trifecta pole, fastest lap, and the victory in the race. I'm feeling super sweaty, super happy. I'm kind of shocked. I really didn't think I'd take pole in qualifying, and then once I did, I knew I kind of had something to race for there. Laguna's such a hard such a hard track to pass on. I figured, if I had that kind of pace, just be consistent, don't make any big mistakes, and I should be able to take it home. I did
And
come into the I came into the pits and missed my box so bad that Goriel almost got me on the exit of the pit lane. But thankfully it was just enough, and then yeah, pushed really hard to build the gap again, and then was safe enough to kind of take a little risk out of the track and kind of coast through the end. So it was real nice.
That explains what looked like the mother of all undercuts, but yeah,
Yeah.
good thing you were able to get back out and basically lights to flag there.
Yeah, no, I for a second there I thought I'd have to actually back into my box. I absolutely blew it. I was like, please don't get a speeding penalty coming into the pit lane. I was so safe, and then I just wasn't thinking at all about the box and just almost missed it entirely. So thankfully the guys pushed it back for me and got it up. But yeah, I probably lost 3, 4, 5 seconds just kind of waiting there for the guys to start the pit cycle.
Yeah,
And
because you
how was
had
your
a.
experience? Oh, I was
Yeah,
sorry.
I was
How
gonna
was
say,
your
oh, you had
experience
about a
with blue
six.
flags?
I had one situation where I kind of got held up, but I was really trying to use my flashers and let people see me coming as early as possible, and thankfully everybody was real nice to me. Moving out of the way, I think I caught people kind of alone where they weren't in a battle of their own, so I think I got pretty lucky there. I'm not sure how the rest of the field handled it, but yeah, I think I got really lucky. The guys were really respectful out there, and I thank everybody that let me pass. It really it really helped me out there.
Good. You really did seem to have like a great race. It was pretty smooth for you. You had a pretty fat lead when you went into the pit, so that saved you from that little incident there.
Oh, for sure. It helps a lot not having to push. This track is kind of all about risk and reward. How close do you want to get to the sausage curbs on the apexes? You can gain a lot of time by pushing the track all out, but if you don't have to, it's a lot safer. And yeah, thankfully I didn't have to push too hard, didn't make any real mistakes on the track. So yeah, just a nice clean drive for me. Pretty happy about it.
Any shout out you want to give?
Shout out to Doug. He sent me over the setup again. I'm not sure who we got it from, where we got it from, but yeah, it got me hooked up with the setup. It felt incredible. Shout out to the Champion Motorsports guys for kind of making some nice call outs about kind of the conditions of the race, where we were at, and keeping things calm and focused. So yeah, super happy. I know a lot of the Champion Motorsports guys finished up there. This race was a pretty good one for most of us. So yeah, pretty stoked.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on a great race. I'll let you go back and hang out with everyone.
Alrighty, as always, thank you guys for the stream. It's much appreciated from the community and beyond. So thank you guys.
You're
Yeah,
very
great race.
welcome. We had a request to bring Selena into the booth as the silver win. Plus, she had that really awesome move in that big pack. So we'll steal her.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, she definitely deserves a little of a spotlight right now.
Hey, Selena.
Oh, hello.
We stole
Surprise.
you by popular demand, and also you had like you got the silver pole for the race, and you had that really like we were watching that amazing little clump of you going down the corkscrew, and you came out of that beautifully. It was just like, how do you guys do this? Like 4 or 5 of you? I don't know.
Yeah, oh, it was so intense. Honestly, I like those final couple of laps. I was just hanging on to dear life because I honestly, knowing Laguna Seca, I have no idea what would go down during those final moments with the gaggle of cars around me, and luckily it worked out. Because I think it was Matt Anastasi went to inward into the corkscrew on the downhill, and then I just like took the optimal line and just went through, and it worked out.
Yeah, Anastasi was
Absolutely.
definitely on a back foot for a couple laps and defending hard against everyone coming up on him, going off slightly into the dirt here or there and causing him to slide around. That's why I think you two had a bit of a shoulder bump going between, what was it, 3 and 4 on that lap. Looks like
Yeah.
really fighting with everything you two had.
Yeah, because I was stuck behind him for a while, and I'm like, okay, I gotta make it or break it because I've got cars behind me, and I gotta figure something out, but I gotta try to be as clean as I can and not do anything ridiculous, but little argy-bargy, which is fine, but I mean, it worked out. Nobody died, which is good.
Oh, absolutely. It was a great racing, great driving. You know, a couple spots where you were, you know, in with other people in corners and did a really nice job keeping lines and keeping it clean. So,
Yeah, and I
Thank
think you finished like 3 or 4, maybe more places before the next silver driver, so that should be a good chunk of points in your pocket for the championship.
Oh wow, that's
yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I just focused on being consistent. That's all I was aiming for, and it paid dividends just to be consistent because I know once you hit those sausage curbs and this is a tight track, so that means tight racing, and if you make a mistake, it's so easy to lose positions, even like 5 positions.
Yeah. I mean, you it's definitely good strategy. So true at this track.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of practicing. But it's a good track. I enjoy Laguna Seca. It's a really good American track that I enjoy. That and Watkins Glen are really good.
It's a
So
pretty good course track too.
anyone
Yeah,
you
yeah.
anyone you want to give a shout out to, a thank you?
Yeah, shout out to my teammate Jess Osborne for trying his best, and I know whatever position he got, I know he did amazing and gave it his all. So next time we shall see what happens. And shout out to Comic Racing, Landshark with making Jess and I's liveries that look amazing. So yeah,
Great. Congratulations. Great race. I will send you back on down.
thank you.
Anyone else you want to grab? Let's see. Our
Mm,
P2 was Goriel, I believe, but I don't see
yes.
him. He's not around. And then
I mean, you can always just bring in Doug because it's fun, but
no, I'll let him do his job. Uh yeah, I don't think anybody else is really available. But
yeah, I
thank
don't
you.
really think so. They're all doing their, after race cool down. So if you don't know, or even, if you do and you want to hear about this after the races, you should stick around if you're a driver and stay in the voice chats, and they go over some of the big ticket items like crashes and passes and stuff. So that's where we can take all of them out and bring them in to talk in the booth. That's what they're doing right now. Um, but yeah, definitely if you are a driver, you want to get in on those and review every race you have.
Absolutely. So that's it for tonight. What we are at Silverstone next week and it's
Yes,
nighttime.
we are.
And
Yeah,
I did take a peek at it today, the practice server, and it's gonna be a cold one.
I was
So
gonna say, I think someone showed like 9C. That's
yes.
insane.
I think that was me. but it's
Wow, we're gonna need
nine
some
C.
snow tires.
It is dark, so it'll be an interesting one. Um
Yeah, that's a track you definitely don't want to be able to see at.
oh no. Seeing's overrated anyway. You want it to be a
Mm-hmm.
surprise every turn.
Well, do
So
we want to give our shout out to our sponsors here?
yep, I was bringing that right on up. Would you like to do the honors or shall I?
Sure, I can take care of it. Um,
All right, go
as
for it.
we get to the end of this race, we want to give a huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American based gaming company that provides accessories for your favorite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer, that's TRAK. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. and Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style. Elevate every lap with top tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. And of course, Go Setups, premium esports setups for everyone. Use our affiliate link in our Discord and take your drive to the next level. We have Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specializing in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and Fairy World collectibles, magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And this year, or this season, our brand new from KP Concepts, your source from custom automotive renderings. I'm going to mess up one of these every time, and I'm sorry, KP Concepts. Automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. You know, we spend countless hours making you look good, all for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
Thank you for the read, and join us next week for some evening fun at Silverstone. Same time, same place for D2. And if you're not racing on Tuesday night, you can join us at Twitch for the D1 race on Tuesday, or our Division 3 and sometimes 5 even on YouTube. Thank you, and see you next week.